All right, ladies and gents, boys and girls, happy Tuesday, May the 3rd, 2022. Appreciate you all tuning in. I'm Chris Phillips, your host of the Daily Crow of the Spurs Up Show. Again, we got a lot to get into here on this Tuesday. Like I said, appreciate you all tuning in. I see Rebecca, Travi. Also, if you're in the Big Cock Club Discord, head over to the TDC Questions channel. The TDC Questions channel, be sure your questions are answered there. Lance Player, John Kruger filing in. Appreciate y'all. We're taking your questions, your comments, and your calls as well. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Lots to dive into, and I'm very excited to be chatting with each and every single one of you. Our good friend Brendan in the Big Cock Club Discord and the TDC Questions channel saying he's got to miss the Crow today because he has his physical chemistry final today. So let's all wish Brendan good luck on his physical chemistry final. But again, guys, hope you're all doing well. Appreciate you all tuning in, enjoying this beautiful Tuesday in the city. We are taking your questions, your comments, your calls. Of course, no Gamecocks baseball game today as South Carolina will play tomorrow night against North Carolina A&T. So we're wide open. We're wide open. Phone lines are wide open. You can text the number. Whatever it might be, you can do whatever you like. So again, guys, would love to hear from you. My guy Skyland up in here, Brian Dean. By the way, before we really get going, guys, I want to shout out my good friend Peter Candela and the Gamecocks lacrosse team. As you see, we're rocking the Lax jersey today. So I wanted to shout those guys out because of their great work, everything they've got going on. Gamecocks lacrosse, if you did not know, Gamecocks Lax won the SELC, which is basically like winning the SEC. They won the SELC, and they are headed to MCLA Nationals in Round Rock, Texas. So let's wish them all best of luck. If you go to the link in their bio, you can donate for their trip. That's at Gamecock Lax on Instagram. Be sure to support the boys. Also, of course, our good friend Phil. I know he'd want me to highlight the great things that Cox Rugby is doing as well. Be sure to support them also. They are the 3 seed and will take on Northeastern in New Orleans on May the 28th. So again, guys, Gamecocks, hey, we're not just a one-trick pony. We're not just football, baseball, basketball. Every single sports matter. All the sports matter, if you will. So be sure to support Gamecocks lacrosse, Gamecocks rugby as they compete in postseason play. Let's see here. Let's get into it. Matthew Isaac says, water sampling out in the field, watching the show. Matthew, I appreciate you tuning in, my guy. Thank you so much. Hope you have a fantastic day water sampling out in the field today. Terrence Tobin says, need a minute. What's going on? Terrence? Appreciate you tuning in. Brian Dean says, Phil Steele is saying Carolina is a sleeper in the East. Brian, where did Phil say that? Did he say that on Twitter? I must have missed that. Obviously, I know his magazine is not out quite yet. But if you got a link, please let me know. I'd love to see that. I definitely value what Phil says. We've had Phil on the show. We'll probably have him on the show yet again this summer, and really excited to chat with him. Also, guys, we've got some big guests lined up for the next couple of weeks. Just wanted to let you all know. May not have an interview on tomorrow's show. I'm thinking Friday's show, though, we will certainly have an interview. I'd like to probably drop interviews every Wednesday, just right there in the middle of the week. I think that makes the most sense. But we do have some big interviews lined up. Rebecca, what's going on? Appreciate you tuning in, Rebecca. Great to hear from you, Rebecca. Chance Kroger says football is very close. Very excitable, Chance. We still got over 100 days left. We'll actually start the countdown to kickoff. We'll start that countdown to kickoff at the 100-day mark, which the 100-day mark, if you did not know, is May the 26th. May the 26th will officially be 100 days until Gamecocks football, and we will start our kickoff, or our countdown to kickoff. And if you're not familiar with it, which if you're tuned in, I'm sure you are, because I've been doing this countdown to kickoff literally since 2018, like basically since I started the Spurs Up Show, where I'll just drop a video every single day. For 100 days, I'll drop a 100-yard touchdown, 99 days, 99-yard touchdown, so on and so forth, and we'll just continue until we get to kickoff. But that's always really exciting, right? It's always exciting to wake up, because I post them first thing, exciting to wake up and, it's another day closer to kickoff. But either way, guys, again, appreciate you all tuning in. We're taking your questions, your comments, your calls. Of course, podcast will drop tomorrow. We're live all week on the Daily Crow. We're back at 10 Root tomorrow night, 5 to 7, and then we'll head out to Founders Park at 7 o'clock for the game against North Carolina A&T. But in the meantime, like I said, guys, we're wide open today. Would love to hear from you. It's a beautiful day in the city. We are reaching pool season for sure. We are reaching pool season. I might even slide out to the pool today, do some workout by the pool. Why not? Either way, though, again, appreciate you all tuning in for sure. Let's see. Rebecca says, thank you, Jesus. Football season is coming. Let me ask you guys this. Let's start on a little bit of a different note. What is it about football that does it for you? Rebecca or anybody can answer this question. What is it about football that does it for you? Is it the overall hype? Is it the actual game itself? Like, are you a football junkie? What is it about Carolina football that does it for you? And I know for some that may be like a silly question, or like, well, what are you talking about? But I'm just curious, like, what is it? Is there something specific that does it for you? Brian Dean says it's on the spun. It says USC will exceed expectations. Brian Dean, do you have a link, or is that on Twitter? Is that on Instagram? Like, where the spun? What is the spun? What's trending in sports? Is that a thing? Is this where you're getting it? Anyways, you let me know. I would love to know. Austin Greer, what's going on, my guy? Living well, man. Doing really, really well. It's a beautiful day in the city. A lot of things, a lot of exciting things happening, going on. So living well, my guy. I hope you're living well also. Let's see. John Kruger says, football junkie, the hype and the game. Lance Player says, the love of the game. No doubt. I mean, I know it seems like a crazy question. I'm just curious if there was something for you specifically that made football stand out. Little bit of personal news, guys, and I'll just go ahead and put this out there. Travis says, it's been in my blood since I was a little boy. Going to the game hooked me. The atmosphere, the tailgate. For sure. Hey, those things all go into it. Brian, Florida was great. Had a great time. Vacation was awesome. Went down there with a great group of dudes and just went to the theme parks and had a blast. Man. A little bit of personal news, guys, for you. And I'll just put this out there because I'm curious to get you guys' thoughts. But so my lease is ending here in Columbia in August 1st or so, like first week of August, it's ending. And I've been at the same spot since I moved here in August of 2019, right? Content Creation Factory has been the exact same spot. The headquarters has been the exact same. And I was informed, a new owner basically took over the spot that I'm in and was informed that the rent is basically going to double from what I've been paying, which is fine. It's their right. They can do that, but I'm not going to pay what they're asking. So with that being said, and it's May 3rd, lease doesn't end until August, so I got some time for sure. But I will not be living after the beginning of August. We will not be in the same spot. There will be a new studio. There will be a new setup. And I was talking to a buddy of mine last night, and the interesting thing, guys, about what I do, right? It's all digital. I mean, it's all the internet. It's all social media. I don't work in an office. I work from home. Obviously, I create content from home, I should say. I'm hesitant to call what I do work because my work is play in my mind, and I'm so passionate about it and love doing it. But either way, I do TSUS from the studio, from home. I don't travel to an office. Really, the only times I'm traveling around Columbia in the city is to go to Tin Roof, go to the grocery store, go to the gym, whatever. And not a lot of travel within the city for, many things business related. Either way, though, I say all that to say that I will be moving beginning of August. And my buddy last night was trying to convince me. He's like, bro, he lives in the upstate. He's like, bro, you should move to the upstate. I got another buddy trying to convince me to move down to the coast. Another trying to convince me to move back to Charlotte. And so if anybody wants to give their sales pitch, because I know all you Gamecocks tuned in don't live in Columbia. If anybody wants to give their sales pitch of where TSUS should relocate, if I do relocate, because there's a very good chance I still stay in Columbia. Got a lot of love for Cola. I'm not tired of Columbia, and obviously it makes a lot of sense that I'm in Columbia, but also I don't have to be. We're to the point where I don't have to be. I can do what I do. We can do what we do without being at the games. I know that might sound crazy to some people, but especially during basketball and baseball season. I mean, let's just call a spade, right? And you guys tell me if I'm wrong. Nobody cares if I'm at the games. Nobody cares if I'm at the baseball game. As long as I'm covering it and watching it, I don't think anybody is viewing me or viewing TSUS any differently because, he wasn't in the stadium. I don't, nobody's viewing me any differently because, he didn't go to Colonial Life Arena for the basketball game. Now, I think there's some that definitely want me to be in town and be at the football games, which totally understand. Totally understand that, and that's a little bit different. But I mean, I don't have to go to any games, to be honest with you guys. I mean, I can make content and give opinions and cover everything. I mean, heck, I built the business for the first 2 years in Charlotte. I wasn't in Columbia. So it's more than possible. So again, I'm not saying for certain I'm going to leave Columbia or anything, but I have the freedom and have the option to do so. And I'm almost kind of on one side of my thinking to myself, why not do it? It would be, I'm single, no children. I have freedom that many others don't have, that, I could take advantage of the opportunity. I could take advantage of the opportunity to kind of just bounce around the state, just kind of live wherever, go live in Myrtle, go live, just live wherever, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I just, if there's anybody out there wants to give their sales pitch of where TSUS should relocate if I do. Again, because my buddy last night, it's so funny. He's a really, really good friend of mine, but he was just saying, yeah, he lives in Anderson. And he was like, yeah, I don't know, man. You'd love the upstate. Greenville's really nice. My sister also just moved to Simpsonville. It feels like it would be a weird move, right? To take TSUS to the upstate. That feels like that'd be a weird move. It does. But the beautiful thing is I love what I do. People ask me all the time, and I know we're kind of getting a little off topic today, but today's just sort of a random day, no game, whatever. And you guys can interject anytime you like if you want to talk anything else. But people ask me all the time, how does Columbia compare to Charlotte, right? Because I lived in Charlotte for 4 years. How does Columbia compare to Charlotte? And do you like Columbia more? Do you like it less? And I tell people that, is Charlotte a more fun city than Columbia? Yeah. I mean, and that's not a knock on Cola, but I mean, Charlotte is a big city, right? A bigger city. But when I lived in Charlotte, I was working in the corporate world 9 to 5. I was stuck in the cube. I was not fulfilled as a human being, as a person. I didn't enjoy what I did. Versus Columbia, I wake up every day fulfilled, inspired, energetic, love what I do. I'm passionate about what I do every single day. I get to live out my dream, basically. And I get to chase and pursue and be a fulfilled human being, right? So it's different, right? It's different. It's different. That's made me enjoy my Columbia experience 100 times more than I enjoyed Charlotte. So the city almost doesn't mean a lot for me. Like, I think I'll be happy anywhere. Now, with that being said, I mean, there's, like Travis Allen says, North Augusta. Like, do I really want to move back to North Augusta and be, Travis, not a lot to do in North Augusta, my guy. There's just not a ton to do. Not a ton to do. But I don't know. It's just something on my mind for sure. And I'm going to start looking probably the next couple of weeks for places, and just a lot of it will come down to finding a dope place, dope spot, somewhere I want to operate out of, the studio, everything else. So we'll see what happens. You know what I mean? I believe in God and the universe, and I believe that something will come up. I'll be steered in a direction, and what's meant to be will happen. So I'm excited for it. Whether that be I'm sticking around Columbia, or I'm going somewhere else within the state, or I'm going somewhere else in general. New beginnings. And it'll definitely be emotional leaving this spot, man, because I've been here since I got here, and my first spot in Cola, and so many great memories in this spot. You know what I mean? But we still got time. Like I said, we're in the present moment right now. We still got time, but it is something kind of interesting, and we'll see where we go. But like I said, anybody wants to give their sales pitch, you're more than welcome. Ryan McGuffey says, just moved out of the Greenville area, way too overcrowded, more to come in a little town right now next to Lake Kiowee and Jockasee. Nice and quiet, no traffic, just boats, fresh air. A few deer and a bear. Very good. Matthew says, I live in Fountain Inn, upstate and right off 385. Quick shot to Cola, low crime and low cost of living. Very good. I mean, honestly, I'm a beach guy. I'd love to live at the beach. I would, you know, I guess why wouldn't I? Why can't I? You know what I mean? I technically can. I absolutely can. So why not? Why not? Cocky Twan says Greenwood. Brandon Wagner says move to Charleston, best city in a state, and you're still reasonably close to Columbia if you want to go to a game. Let's turn to the phone lines.
Call from
Dave Garrett.
Dave, what's up, man? How are you?
I'm doing fine, man. I just have one question. How would the move affect your Wednesday shows?
Yeah, I mean,
that's the only thing.
Yeah, if I didn't live in Columbia, I mean, I probably wouldn't do Tin Roof anymore, to be totally transparent with you. I mean, is it possible I could swing it, like making the, you know, I mean, would it kill me to make a trip to Columbia every Wednesday? Not necessarily, but I think.
Well, it depends on where you were.
Right. For sure. Yeah, but I think realistically those would probably cease. I would imagine.
But yeah, that's the only question I had. Other than that, you know me, I support anything you do. But that was the only question I had, was how it would affect Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm. But would on that?
You off here, man.
Yeah. I appreciate it, Dave. I was just going to say on that note, you know, with that, you go to a different city, you never know. There might be a new Wednesday show at a new location. So I mean, you just never know. So
well, I'm sure there's plenty of places that would love to have you.
Yeah, well, I appreciate that, Dave.
But all right, man. Talk to you soon.
Yeah, man. Appreciate you calling in. Yeah, I mean that's a good point. You know, there's advantages to living in Columbia, and if I were to get out, and again, this is just weighing all options and you know just having fun with the hypotheticals. You know, if I were to leave Cola, though, you know, the Tin Roof shows would probably cease. But again, there's other locations that, as Dave said, I feel confident would be excited at the opportunity to have us out there. You know, I think it would be cool. Yeah. So Jeff Gullich says, I would say stay in Columbia simply because you're right by the action. No, for sure. I mean, that makes a lot of sense, Jeff. It makes a lot of sense. I do think that. And then, like I said, on the other. Okay, sorry about that, guys. The Muschamp Hackers, I was trying to scroll, and I think I accidentally clicked the back button, so that's actually on me. Anyways, we're back. Again, it's all about weighing options at this point, though. I mean, being in Cola makes a lot of sense because of being in the action, but, you know, I also, like I said, have the freedom. I have freedom that many folks don't in the sense of flexibility. So we'll see what happens. Brian Dean says, Chris, come to Somerville. Yeah, there's a lot of great Gamecocks in Somerville. You know, we had our watch party down at Carolina Ale House in Somerville. That was a really good time. That was a really, really good time. So I appreciated the love down in Somerville. I know my guy, Cody Gaskins, I believe. Yeah, Cody Gaskins, I know, is down in Somerville. So, yeah, we had a real good time down there. There's a lot of great Gamecocks all over the state, by the way. All over the state. We did have a question here earlier in the chat. Somebody asked about game. How do I forget who asked the question. I don't see it. But how do I feel about Gamecocks basketball this upcoming season? I'm not going to have high expectations, guys. I mean, year one of Lamont Paris, I think right now he's just trying to put together a roster. I think he's just trying to put together a roster of players. I mean, I think that is the number one focus. I'm not going to go into this season with really any expectations at all. I mean, if we are even remotely near the bubble, I will be pleasantly surprised. I will, you know, tip my cap, but I'm not going to really have any expectations. It's year one. It's year one. I don't know what type of expectations you can really have. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I know that's not a great answer because it's like you want to have expectations, but it's literally year one. So, yeah, Jeff Gullis, no, again, it makes a lot of sense for football season to be in Columbia. It does make a lot of sense for sure. For sure. But it's something where I'm definitely weighing the options. Brian McGuffey says, I love Gamecock sports so much that it gives me anxiety before any of the sports season start. If there is hype around any one program for the season, it just makes it worse. It truly seems like every time the Gamecocks are projected to do something positive, something out of nowhere unexpectedly stops them in the tracks. Chicken curse. Is it real? I grew up hearing about the chicken curse. I did. And I'm not one that believes in curses. But when you look at the history of Gamecocks athletics, it's hard not to feel like there isn't some external force weighing down on the University of South Carolina. Because there have been some of the damnedest things ever happen, especially to Carolina football. So I'll pose the question to you. I'll pose the question to the masses. Do you believe in the chicken curse? Do you really think the chicken curse is a real thing? And if you believe it's a real thing, you know, we've seen teams do this before, right? I think specifically the Chicago Cubs, when they blew up the baseball, they tried to exercise their curse, you know, the curse of the Bambino and the Red Sox, the things they tried to do. How should we exercise the curse? The chicken curse. Like, what should we sacrifice an animal? Should we blow up a football? What should we do? How can we stop the chicken curse? That is my question. I mean, you got to have a solution. If there is a chicken curse, there's got to be a solution. There's got to be a solution. I grew up hearing about the chicken curse. I did. Savannah Webster, I don't think the Chattanooga guy, the Malachi, whatever, I don't think he's committed anywhere. I don't think he's committed anywhere. So, nope, we are all just kind of waiting on that. Anyways, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Let's see. Justin Langford says, burn a board of trustees cutout. Very good. Rebecca says, what is the chicken curse? That's news to me. Savannah Webster says, chicken curse must just be football. Yeah, it's certainly not women's basketball. It's certainly not women's basketball. I think chicken curse merch sounds great. Y'all tell me if that's a horrible idea, but I mean, sometimes, guys, hey, sometimes you just got to lean into it. Sometimes you just got to lean into it. You know? I'm going to run a poll right now. I just posted this poll on Twitter. Do you believe in the chicken curse? Yes or no? See, this is what I love, and this is why, honestly, and I'm not going to call this the off season because we're in the midst of baseball season, obviously, but it's different, right? Because many folks are, especially with the way baseball season's going. You know, I understand if you're not totally invested or whatever, but this is why making content in the quote unquote off season or preseason, it's so much fun because it gets so random. You know what I mean? We're sitting here talking about the chicken curse on a random Tuesday. So, like, I'll tell you guys this, and I guess I got to answer my own question. I don't believe in curses. But I will say sometimes it's hard not to. Sometimes you're like, that feels chicken curse-esque. You know? That feels chicken curse-esque. Let's jump to the phone lines.
Rebecca.
Rebecca, what's going on? How are you?
Good. I know it's been a while since I called in.
It has. How you been?
Been good. explain to me what is the chicken curse? Because I never got to. That's new on me, and I never heard of it because my great aunt and my great uncle never did tell me anything about that.
Well, let me refer to an article that I just found on Google. I can explain it to you, but I actually want to read this. The chicken curse. Okay. The chicken curse, this is what this article says from anchorofgold.com, which is a Vanderbilt website, but apparently the guy was doing research on USC. And this is for everyone to hear, by the way, not just you. But anyways, this is what it says. The chicken curse started in the late 1800s when former South Carolina governor and U.S. Senator Pitchfork Ben Tillman, along with Thomas Green Clemson, which we all understand who that is, tried to convince the state of South Carolina on the need for an agricultural school to help the poorer farmers of the upstate. USC's donors at the time were the richer large landowners in the lower part of South Carolina and were not fond of another educational institution in the state. After all the drawn-out frustrations of the state legislature trying to prevent a new school, Tillman threw a pitchfork into the ground on USC's campus and claimed the university was cursed and doomed. So, that is where the chicken curse comes from. And folks and Gamecock fans have referred the chicken curse for years to justify the success or lack thereof, especially on the football field. And some of just the wacky results and wacky plays and wacky things that have happened. So, that is the chicken curse, Rebecca. That is the chicken curse.
Something like karma.
Maybe a little bit. Something like that. It's I don't even know if karma is the right word. It's just the damnedest things. It's like having bad luck. You know what I mean? That's where people think we are cursed in a way. That the damnedest things in life happen to us.
I was wondering what it was because I never got told from them when I was.
Yeah, I grew up hearing about the chicken curse. I did.
That's a new one on me.
So hopefully Shane Beamer on the foot, and I think there's been results over the years that have helped try to break that curse. Baseball winning back-to-back titles, women's basketball doing what they've done, basketball going to the Final Four. Steve Spurrier, 11 wins, 3 straight years. South going to go into the SEC championship. But I think it would take probably an SEC championship in football to really break the curse.
All right. Well, I don't believe in that darn karma stuff anyway, so I didn't know if it was something similar to that or not. You know?
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why I was asking. Or people say chicken, what is it? Jinxing yourself or something like that.
Right.
I've heard of them sayings, but that's a new one on me. I'm glad you explained that. Oh, and I want to answer your question that you asked. What was the question about football season? I can't remember what the question, how you said that.
Yeah, no, I said what makes Carolina football special to you? Like what makes it stand out and makes it special for you?
The reason it is special to me is because if it wasn't for my great uncle and my great aunt down Aiken, South Carolina. I wouldn't be a Gamecock fan right now because of it. And that's the reason why. And I was a Tennessee fan until Philip Former left.
So
Tennessee.
Rebecca, you used to be a Tennessee fan.
Long time ago.
Wow. Okay. And so then why did you change over?
If it wasn't for my great aunt and my great uncle.
Okay.
Which may they rest in peace. Because they're both in heaven.
Rest in peace.
And that's the reason why. And I have a favorite second cousin down there in Aiken, too. So, my first time coming to South Carolina was my 16th birthday. And you're talking about, I was amazed how South Carolina was and how it looked and everything. So, the reason why first time I went to South Carolina was my 16th birthday. And it meant a whole lot to me. It really has.
I'm sure it has. That's awesome.
I think of it every day.
Mm-hmm.
Every day. I wish I was back. I wish I was 16 again. I could relive the whole entire thing.
Mm-hmm.
First time coming to South Carolina. It was the best thing that ever happened. Caught it in my Sweet 16. That was my favorite. That was the best Sweet 16 that I've ever had. But you don't see me turning back to be a Tennessee fan.
No, I hope not.
Hell no. I can tell you that right now. Got tattoos on me for South Carolina. You think I'm going to go back and turn over to be a Tennessee fan?
No, I don't think I don't think so. I think you're all Gamecock now.
Yeah, you don't see me putting a darn Tennessee tattoo on me. I wouldn't, even if somebody was to pay me $1 million, I wouldn't do it. I can tell you that right now. And also, you said that you're having problems about the rent where you live.
Not problems. They're just going to increase it starting in August. So I'm moving. Yeah, I mean, not having problems. Just new ownership takes over, and they can do whatever they want. So, yeah. So I will be moving beginning of August or end of July.
Can I ask how much they want to charge?
For a 2-bed, 1-bath, they want to charge $1,400 a month, which is more than I want to pay.
Damn.
So, yeah. I mean, they know that college kids in this area will pay it, which is fine, but I'm not going to pay that. So, anyways, all good.
I don't see how you could afford it.
Well, Rebecca, I don't do this for free. So, I don't do this for free, believe it or not.
Because if I was to go, now different situation, if I was to go into a housing authority, they do it based on your income. and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And here in Tennessee, like right now, my mom, she pays $200 and something because of her being on a low income.
Mm-hmm.
So if I wanted to, I could move and be in my own place and everything. I say my rent would be about something like my mom's.
Mm-hmm.
So, and also I was going to I was thinking, why not you move to Aiken?
Aiken's a nice town. I like Aiken.
Because you're right there and you don't have to worry about leaving tin roof and everything.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure.
It's better to live in Aiken than it's not that far from Columbia. You're better off just living in Aiken. Is my opinion. I mean, I think it's like an hour or a 30-minute drive from there,
Mm-hmm.
isn't it?
Yeah, no, I know exactly how far it is. So I don't know, Rebecca. I'm going to weigh those options over the next couple months and we'll figure it out. But Aiken is nice. Aiken is nice.
I'll load it down there myself. But anyway, I reckon I'm going to get off of here. I just wanted to say hello to everybody and all that.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to explain myself about football season and stuff.
I got you. Rebecca, it's always a pleasure to chat with you. Seriously, it's always great to hear from you. And call in anytime.
All right, I will.
So, all right.
All right.
Sounds good. Take care,
Bye.
Rebecca. Appreciate you. Good stuff. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Let's see. Savannah Webster, 1 bedrooms in Tampa are $1,800 a month for a decent place. Yeah, that's insanity, Savannah. That's insanity. Yeah, I mean, we're not going to dive into like rent and prices and all that, but that's. I mean, they're wanting to charge $1,300-$1,400 for this place. Like, if I'm going to pay that, I'll go back to Charlotte. Like, I'll go back to I'll go live in a big city with a lot of stuff to do and going on, and So, anyways, that's sort of a side conversation. We'll see what happens. Travis Allen, remember we went 10-2 and we beat Navy, or was beat by Navy, the chicken curse. Then Morrison passed away. Crazy. Brack, what's going on, my guy? Appreciate you tuning in. Brian Dean says, best defense I ever saw at USC when I was a teenager. The Fire Ants of 1984, man, they would attack with fire and hit you in the mouth. Brack says Aiken is very nice. It is. I mean, obviously, I grew up in North Augusta, but I spent a lot of time in Aiken. My best friend went to USC Aiken, and I spent a lot of time in Aiken. Aiken's a nice town. It really is. It's a nice town, nice quaint spot. It's honestly, Aiken is honestly a really nice spot. It would be a great spot to sort of get away. You know what I mean? Get away from the hustle and bustle. But I don't know. Stephanie Lee says, travel the world and come back for football. Hey, I mean, not a bad idea. It's so funny you say that because I actually had a buddy of mine suggest, he's like, hell, if you're not going to live in Columbia, just go move to like Key West. Go move somewhere like, off the wall. Don't stay in South Carolina. So I don't know. I got a lot of options to weigh. And I will say, I think it's probably in my head. Justin Langford says $850 a month for a 1-bedroom trailer in Myrtle Beach. Good to know, Justin. I will note that. It's just something I'll weigh the options in my head and figure it out. But excited for the future and excited today, guys. Appreciate you all tuning in. We're taking your questions, comments, calls. We're going to jump into our first break of the day, but I want to continue to hear from you, more of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. That's 843-790-3377. Appreciate you all tuning in. Tyler Gay says, come move to the farm, brother. Plenty of room. Love it. Love it. Yeah, we'll go live at the farm. We'll go live at the farm. Savannah Webster says, Key West is like $4,000 a month for a one-bedroom trailer. I hear you. I hear you. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not going to be moving to Tennessee. Let me just put it that way. I will not be moving to Tennessee. Yeah, Noah, I saw your Noah Johns. I saw your post on Facebook, my guy. Congratulations to everything. Congratulations with everything. South Carolina baseball taking on North Carolina A&T tomorrow night.
Call from
In the meantime, let's
Robbie
check the
Davis,
phone.
aka Kirk Street.
Robbie, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. How are you doing on this Tuesday?
I am doing well, my friend. Just hanging out, enjoying beautiful weather, just having a day. What's going on?
I wanted to give you my prediction for the games this weekend.
Mhm.
I can't remember who we're playing, but if we can somehow build off of the sweep that I honestly did not see coming this past weekend, I could somehow, for some reason, I see us winning at least two out of three this weekend. Because one thing that I noticed whenever I watched the game on Saturday is whenever we went up to bat, if that ball was anywhere near the strike zone, we were swinging. And if we can do that this weekend, I think we can take 2 out of 3 this weekend. I think our pitching staff did really well this past weekend. If we can build off of that as well, I think we can win 2 out of 3. And still the same thing applies. You take it one game at a time and just take care of business. But it's getting down to the nitty-gritty, and we got to start winning some games.
It is indeed. This is it's put up or shut up time, my guy. Put up or shut up time.
Or as my dad sometimes likes to say, it's time to nut up or shut up.
Very well said.
And also, I wanted to give you some advice on the living situation, if you don't mind.
Yeah, by all means.
Now, I told you I moved to Spartanburg before, right? I lived there from 2016 up until 2019.
I don't think you did tell
But
me
before,
that. I don't think you did tell me
I
that.
moved up there the day after Christmas of 2016. So literally, like, within the first week of 2017, I moved to Spartanburg, okay? But before I moved to Spartanburg, one thing that I did is for like months prior to moving to Spartanburg, I prayed about it every day, every single day, prayed about it every day. Mm-hmm. And eventually God was like, move to Spartanburg, do it. And then I was like, and I said this out loud, I was like, are you sure? He's like, I wouldn't be telling you to move to Spartanburg if I wasn't sure, so do it. I was like, okay. So I moved, I made an announcement at the church I was attending at the time, and I was heartbroken for one reason, because a decent chunk of my friends live in Orangeburg, or in the Orangeburg area. So that's what made it so hard. But one thing I have learned is, especially with my walk with God, I'm like, I know that, if God asks you, if God tells you to do something, he knows what he's doing. He knows you better than you know yourself, is what I'm trying to say.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So my advice is pray about it, and whenever you feel a peace about it, and this, okay, this is where I'm supposed to be, do it. Because the 3 years I was in Spartanburg were probably the best 3 years that I've ever had. So that's my 10 cents.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Okay, so Spartanburg on the map. Spartanburg is on the map. Okay.
And of course, you need to plan a trip to the Berg and go to Dick's Barbecue. I'm just telling you, you need to.
You want me to plan a trip to Spartanburg to go eat some barbecue?
No. You plan a trip to Orangeburg.
Oh, Orangeburg. Okay. The Berg,
Yeah.
excuse me.
Yeah. The Oberg. And of course, I don't know how we would do it, but remember whenever I told you if you ever wanted to go to Roebuck, let me know and I can probably hook you up with some free food.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because I know both the owners, and one of them goes to my brother's church. So, if you ever take a trip to Roebuck, South Carolina, which is in the and you see a Zaxby's, that's the one I worked at. AKA the Zaxby's Hall of Famer.
Very good. Yeah, I need to. Is the plaque hanging somewhere, or do you have it?
I haven't. Apparently, the guy that was making the plaque, okay, he was making it, and then he was designing it, and then he got sick, and then I haven't heard anything. I was gonna try and call my boss today and find out what's going on with that,
Mm-hmm.
and I can assure you, if I were to go up in there and certain people was working, I wouldn't have to pay for my food.
Indeed.
And of course, if we did plan a trip to Roebuck, your meal's on me.
I appreciate that.
Because you'll be with the Zaxby's Hall of Famers.
Yeah.
The
If it wasn't for you, Robbie, I wouldn't have even known Roebuck was a place. So I don't think I would have known Roebuck existed.
It's literally right down the road from Dorman High School.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Do you know where Dorman High School is, or no?
Yes, kind of. I mean, I would just put it. I would just put it. I would just put it in my GPS.
Where the Zaxby's is that I worked at. Where the Zaxby's is that I worked at is right down the road from Dorman High School.
Mm-hmm.
A decent chunk of the lunch rush would be Dorman High Schoolers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, if you ever did, your lunch would be on me.
Word.
or
gotcha.
or whenever.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, I appreciate
and,
that.
Oh, no problem. I'm a nice guy. People think I'm a meanie, but I'm not really that mean. I'm not mean unless I need to be.
Do they think you're mean, Robbie?
I don't know. Well, apparently, like you said before, apparently I got haters. Haters that have no reason to hate me whatsoever. No moral ground of the hatred on the hatred. No moral ground whatsoever. And to those people that hate it, don't judge a book by its cover. And I am ready. I am so ready for September to get here. I'm ready for, even though May is my birthday month, I'm ready for May to get over with, because then that means we're another month closer to football season. And I still stand by my prediction. I think we'll go 8-4. We'll lose to Georgia, lose to A&M, lose to Clemson, and then what was the other one? I can't remember. I'm having a brain fart. Anywho, I got us going 8-4.
Losing to Arkansas, Georgia, A&M, Clemson, and was it Arkansas? Was it Kentucky? Was it Tennessee? Was it Florida?
I believe it was. I think I can't remember, but all I know is I got us going 8-4.
You got to write this down somewhere, my guy. You got to write this down somewhere.
Yeah, from now on, I'm gonna write stuff down so I can remember stuff.
Take notes.
And my dad is planning on sending you. I think he's planning on sending. I haven't talked to him about it, but I think he's planning on sending you a Jungle Boudreaux shot glass.
Is he? I'd gladly take it. I mean, I don't drink anymore, but hey, I'll take it. It's great for display.
Hey, there's people that collect them, bro.
I know that is an interesting thing. Some people do collect them, which is very wild. But I mean, I'll gladly accept it. I'll gladly accept it. I'll display it in the studio. Would love to display it in the studio. In all seriousness.
And the T-Sus bus, I believe, is in the future.
The T-Sus bus, man. That's yeah.
Yeah, buddy. Then you could be doing the Spurs Up show from anywhere.
Indeed. Indeed.
But yeah, that's my advice on the whole living situation and all that other stuff. You can either take it or leave it. It's up to you. I'm not gonna, force you to do something you don't want to do. But I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
But that's it. Go Gamecocks, and to heck with Clemson, you bunch of farming losers.
Robbie, well said as always, my friend. It's always a pleasure to chat with you, truly.
All right, man. You have a great rest of your day, okay, and a great week.
Yeah,
all
man.
Right,
you too. Take care. Unless I missed it, I don't think Robbie ever actually got to his prediction for the weekend. Did he? Did I miss that? Did I just completely zone out? If you did, Robbie, I apologize. I'm sure he'll text it into me. We've also got a couple days. Before that happens, but we've got the midweek to go through before that tomorrow. And tomorrow's podcast, by the way, guys, that will drop will be a full breakdown, preview, prediction, all that good stuff. Just kind of a midweek primer. We'll probably have an interview on the Friday show. Got a lot of interviews lined up. So let's jump back to the phone lines here.
Call from
Rebecca.
Rebecca, twice in a day. What's going on?
I like to say something.
Go right ahead.
Tanner Lane
Mhm.
says, "This is why we love Robbie. He is a coach, a preacher, whatever. Robbie can do it all." I want to call out on Tanner Land.
Calling out Tanner Land. Okay.
I'd like to know, am I chopped liver?
I'd like to think Tanner Land wasn't insinuating that you were chopped liver, by the way. And I don't know if Tanner Land is even still in the chat or in the show to defend himself. I don't think he was insinuating that, though. But I'm not going to speak for Tanner, but I don't think he was. If I had to guess, I don't think Tanner Land was insinuating that you're chopped liver, Rebecca.
Right, and then Tyler Gay, he says they hate you because they ain't you something. I couldn't read it.
Rob, I think like Robbie.
Right. Oh, I'm like, what the hell? What am I, chopped liver over here?
Rebecca, there's plenty of folks that comment when you call in.
I'm like over here, what the hell? I'm over here, #1 Gamecock fan here in East Tennessee that would call in. You know?
I know, Rebecca, we all love you. Everybody, there's plenty of love. We all love you.
So, that's the reason why I'm a little upset, because I seen that. I was like...
Tyler Gay says you're the queen, by the way. So there you go.
Okay. Well, I was wondering why he said that.
I don't think Tanner Land meant anything of it.
No, because I know I haven't been on here I haven't been on here.
Right.
It's been a while since I've been on here, but it's because I've been doing a whole lot of stuff, you know.
We understand. Hey, we get it. We totally get it, Rebecca. We get it. Ain't no biggie at all.
Okay over there?
Yeah, a little water went down the wrong pipe. We're good. No, you're good, Rebecca. Hey, it's all good. It's all good. No, we're all good here. We're all friends here.
There he is. He finally said something. All right. I reckon I'll get off of here because I was like, let somebody else call in.
Yeah. Rebecca, I appreciate you. I appreciate you. It's all love.
All right.
All right. Talk soon. My goodness, y'all. What a day. Robbie Davis just confirmed he has South Carolina taking 2 out of 3 from Texas A&M. Love that. Love that. So Robbie's got Carolina going on the road, taking 2 out of 3 from the Aggies, which would be a huge, by the way, huge series victory. I mean, a huge series victory. So we'll see if they can make it happen. We'll see if they can make it happen. But that would honestly, guys, this weekend, when you're talking like postseason odds and all that. I mean, I've talked before. You know, you look all over, and South Carolina's nowhere to be found in any sort of postseason projection, right? Which is not surprising. I mean, it's, you know, we're 22-20, 9-12 in the conference, but you take 2 out of 3 at Texas A&M, and I will start to believe that maybe it's possible. You know, like maybe it's really possible. Because, you feel like the following weekend, Kentucky at home, you feel like that's a pretty favorable series, right? And then you close it out at Florida, which who knows? Florida's not really Florida this year. So, by the way, shout out to Todd Smith for the super chat. Todd, thank you, sir. Appreciate you, Todd. Yeah, if you guys want to support the business, support the channel, support everything we do, you can on YouTube through super chat and super stickers. Todd, thank you so much, my friend. He says, I'm ready for some Gamecock football. Go Gamecocks. Me too, man. Me too. Rebecca, you are important each and every single day, Rebecca. Don't think otherwise. I appreciate everyone that comments, calls in, shows love, buys merch, tunes into any sort of content, follows on social media. I really do appreciate each and every single one of you. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. By the way, it hasn't been that long, just about 40 minutes or so, but we are 178 votes in on this poll. Do you believe in the chicken curse? 51.1% say no, but that means 48.9%. So it's basically split down the middle. Say yes, they believe in the chicken curse. I mean, wild. The chicken curse, folks. The chicken curse. 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, comments, calls. Let's see. Brian Dean says Salcon has showed real grit and fight through the tough season of baseball. The freshmen starting to show out. Talmadge Lecroy, Michael Braswell, Evan Stone. I mean, yeah, we fought. And that's what you have to hope. Again, as I talked yesterday, with South Carolina beating Alabama, taking the sweep. You have to hope that it's the young players, the youngsters coming into their own, and this team maybe turning a corner. Maybe this past weekend symbolizes this team turning a corner. Is it just an anomaly? Is it a one-off? Is it too little, too late? I don't know. I tend to probably think that it is. I just think, unfortunately, the midweek games that you've lost, and I tend to think it's too little, too late. But we'll see. I mean, there's still some season left. I won't say a lot of season because we're 3/4 the way through, basically. But, yeah. Roy Gwynn says, I've been watching the Gamecocks my whole life since the 80s. The chicken curse is real. And guys, that's basically the topic of conversation today. Do you believe in the chicken curse? Yes or no? And what a topic of combo to have, right? What a topic of combo to have for a random Tuesday in May. Again, Carolina baseball playing tomorrow night, taking on North Carolina A&T, and then this weekend on the road at Texas A&M. It's Mother's Day, by the way, on Sunday. So that's exciting. Make sure you get your mom something nice. Mother's Day on Sunday. A lot of exciting things going down. A lot of exciting things happening. Rebecca says, Robbie Davis is the king of the show, and I am the queen of the show. Rebecca, I would ask you this question just to follow up. If you are the king, if you are the queen of the show, and Robbie's the king of the show, then what am I? I will, let's see. We had our good buddy Mark Ryan trying to call in. I don't think he was calling into the live show. So just saw his call coming in. I was like, I don't think he's calling to chime in on the live show. Maybe he was. I just texted him. Maybe he'll tell me. I was just like, it's funny. People will call me during this 12 to 2 block, and they won't realize that I'm on the live show. You know what I mean? Like they'll just, and I have to tell, some people, I have to like tell them when I call them, like, hey, or when they call, it's like, hey, just so you know, we are live. Just everything you say can be heard. Tyler Gay says the captain. Okay, fair enough. We got some Muschamp hackers, I feel like, on the Facebook side of things. Rhett Godbold says we beat some good teams with a MASH pitching unit. Staff, Kingston will be back. I don't doubt if we make a run towards the end of the season. I just don't think South kind of wants to make a coaching change. I mean, again, if you get rid of Kingston, you will have fired all three of the big three sports, all three of their head coaches within a less than 2-year span. And I don't think USC wants to do that. Rebecca says you are the top king. Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. God. Fair enough. I'm just happy to be here, guys. I'm just happy to be here. Posted this clip on social media, realistic yearly expectations for the Gamecocks ball program, guys. I talked about this yesterday. 8 to 9 wins per year, challenging for the SEC East or SEC title or SEC title every 3 to 4 years or so. Do you guys think that's fair? Do you think that's fair? Like I said, we are counting down the days till kickoff. May 26th will serve as the 100-day mark, which when you get to 100 days and you get less than 100, it is kind of crazy, right? It is kind of crazy. So we'll begin that countdown on May the 26th. We'll have our countdown videos, all that good stuff. Of course, we're navigating guys through baseball season. I would expect Eli Jones probably to get the start tonight. I would expect Eli Jones to get the start tonight. Excuse me, not tonight. Tomorrow night. I would expect Eli Jones to start against North Carolina A&T. I would expect it. Tyler Gay says, I jumped in late, but do you believe in the chicken curse, Chris? It's definitely real. Tyler, I don't really believe in curses. No, I don't believe in curses. On that note, though, I mean, it is hard to fathom and understand how things have happened in the history of South Carolina athletics, and especially Gamecocks football, where you say to yourself, like, how could the chicken curse not be real? I'll tell you this, though. I believe in it enough to say, like, if we need to do something to exercise it, I'm all game for that, honestly. If we need to sacrifice something, blow up a football, we need to destroy a pitchfork, because that's what Ben Tillman supposedly cursed us with. If we need, you ever seen The Rookie? No, is it The Rookie, the Disney movie with Dennis Quaid, where they take the flower petals and they sprinkle them on the dirt. If we got to do that, I'm down for whatever. We need to bless the field, whatever. Bless the grounds that South Carolina sits, whatever we got to do, I'm actually down for it. So I don't know. I can't say I don't believe in the chicken curse when I'm like, I will literally, I'm game for that. I'm game for that. Guys, appreciate you all tuning in here on this Tuesday. We are going to jump into a quick break. We're rocking and rolling, though, guys. Again, it's a busy week. Podcast is back to normal. Shows dropping on Wednesday and Friday. Daily Crow every single day, Monday through Friday, noon to 2. And we're back at Tin Roof tomorrow night as well. The show will be 5 to 7, and then we'll head out to Founders Park for the baseball game. But in the meantime, guys, we're going to take a quick break. We are taking your questions, your comments, your calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls as well. 843-790-3377. Appreciate you all tuning in. Jeff Gullidge comments. It says, I believe the first 3 games will be big for us. Georgia State should be a win, but it will come down to how we win the game. Arkansas will be big because it's a strong indicator where we are as a program. A win, big or small, would be huge. And a bad loss could feel like we are taking a step in the wrong direction. UGA game, if we keep it close, it's awesome. Get blown out, everybody will be down on the coaching staff and questioning if they can do it. That brings the question, Jeff, something I always talk about when I give my predictions and projections for the season, and again, I'll do that like the week before SEC Media Days this year, is one of the things I talk about is the most important 3-game stretch of the season. Is it the first 3? I haven't made up my mind. I'm genuinely asking, do you think it's the first 3 games? Is there a different 3-game stretch that's the most important of the season? Because, and as I pull up the football schedule here, as you pull up the schedule, you could argue it's those first 3. You could argue for all the reasons you mentioned. Is it a Vandy, Florida, Tennessee 3-game stretch? Is it Florida, Tennessee, Clemson? Is it Kentucky, A&M, Mizzou? Is it those? Like, what is the most important 3-game stretch of the year? Because, again, I don't view Arkansas as a must-win. And I don't know if anybody can, report these people on Facebook. But this is really annoying. Anyways, maybe it is the first 3. I don't want to overlook Georgia State as it's just a kick-in win. I want to respect the opponent. Sean Elliott going to bring his squad in. They're going to be fired up. They're going to be wanting to get it. But, dude, we should win. I mean, come on. We should win. Arkansas, I don't view as a must-win. I think it's the biggest swing game of the year, as I've said before. I think it's the biggest swing game because it's a game. If you win, it opens up all sorts of possibilities, right? It opens up all sorts of possibilities. If you lose, though, it's not going to derail your season. If you lose, it won't derail your season. So I look at it sort of that way. Jeff Gullidge says this year's the first 3. Maybe next year it'll be Kentucky, Tennessee, Florida. But see, again, when you're saying the first 3, you're insinuating if you go 1 and 2, your season's done. That's going to determine. I don't believe so, guys. I mean, Georgia State, obviously you have to win. That should be a win. But if you lose to both Arkansas and Georgia, those were expected losses. Those, especially Georgia. Georgia's not a game that's anybody should be expecting to win that ball game. I don't think. And again, this is way too early. I'll lock this in. I will lock this in the summer. But, I look at more so either the stretch Kentucky, A&M, Mizzou, or the stretch Vandy, Florida, Tennessee as, I think, more important 3-game stretches. I think especially that Kentucky, A&M, Mizzou, because it's you got Kentucky and Missouri, and those are teams you've got to get back to beating. The Kentuckys and Mizzous. Those are teams you got to beat. Get back to beating. I think Vandy, Florida, Tennessee could be that because, Vandy, you need to win. At Florida, what is Florida? And then Tennessee, for SEC East hierarchy. I think that's a very big 3-game stretch. So I think it's either the first 3, Kentucky through Mizzou, or Vandy through Tennessee. I think it's one of those 3-game stretches. So I don't know that I agree with it being the first 3 because again, if you go, and that's where people, listen, I'll go ahead and put this out there. I'll go ahead and speak this. Do not lose your shit if South kind of starts the 2022 football season 1 and 2, because it's very possible. It's very possible South Carolina could lose to both Arkansas and Georgia. You're going to be the underdog in both games. In Fayetteville, I don't look at that game as a must-win. Again, I look at that as a swing game. The biggest swing game for this year. That if you win it, it opens the door to all types of possibilities. If you lose, though, your season's not over. And then while, especially if you're able to beat Arkansas, it's going to feel sort of like an upset special against Georgia, but nobody's going to be expecting you to beat Georgia. You're probably going to be at minimum a 2-touchdown underdog. So I'm going to go ahead and put this out there now because I know what's going to happen. If South Carolina starts 1-2, all hell's going to break loose. All hell will break loose. But it's a long year, and it's a tough start, and the season's not going to be over for Carolina if they start 1-2. So let me, and I know it's going to fall on deaf ears. I know nobody's going to listen to me. I know people are going to freak out. Jeff Gold says 1-2 with our fan base with a bad loss to Arkansas and blown out by Georgia. We'll be screaming for someone to be fired. But we play both Arkansas and Georgia close, and still 1-2, the fans will not be as upset. I mean, I agree, Jeff, the way that you win or lose, it matters, right? I mean, I'm not saying it's okay if you go lose by Arkansas and Georgia, lose to them by 40 points. Oh, whatever. We weren't supposed to win anyways. But I'm just saying that if you lose a hard-fought game in Fayetteville and you lose to Georgia by 2 touchdowns, like, that's what's expected to happen, guys. I mean, the over-under 6. The over-under in Vegas is 6. You're not expected to win any of those 2 games. Either win would be an upset. I mean, Georgia would be a massive upset, right? And then Arkansas would be an upset on the road. On the road. Let's see. Tyler Gay says if we start 1-2, this fan base will freak. I mean, Tyler, but don't you think 1-2 is a realistic start? You're not beating Georgia. Let's just go ahead and throw that out there. You're not beating Georgia. People, I mean, let me ask you this. People have to at least understand that it's very possible we start 1-2. It's more likely than not we start 1-2. Would you do? I mean, that's not an outlandish statement. Arkansas is very good, and Georgia is Georgia. If you start 1-2, I mean, the path to 7-5 or even 8-4 is not out of the question. It's your path to 8-4 is still there. It can still be done. You don't have to beat Arkansas to go 8-4. In fact, I had you losing to Arkansas in my way too early predictions and you going 8-4. So you don't have to beat Arkansas to go 8-4. But again, you guys are right. I mean, you guys are right. We start 1-2. I mean, people are going to be freaking out about Satterfield and Shane Beamer. And, I mean, listen, people want people fired every single week. It is what it is. Some fans want people fired if you lose a single game. I mean, they do. The solution, guys, is not, I mean, and this is coming from somebody who is called for 3 coaches to be fired. Muschamp, Martin, and now Kingston. The answer's not always, though, fire the coach. It's not. The answer's not always fire the coach. Courtney Washington says, we beat Arkansas, that's going to unlock us for 8 to 9 wins, possibly 10. Courtney, I'm not even entertaining the thought of 10 wins. I think that's so aggressive. I think if you beat Arkansas, though, certainly it opens the door up for an 8-4 season, 9-3. But I think when you look at best case scenario for this team this year, I do think a realistic best case is probably 9-3. Dude, there's no way South Carolina's a 10-win team. I'm sorry. They're not. We're not. We're not a 10-win team. We're not. And I'd love to eat crow and be proven wrong. And, hey, I'd love to see us be the surprise team of the league. Guys, something that'll factor into that and go a long way, and I posed this on Twitter. I'm surprised it's not getting a little bit more love than it is. But my question of the day, and just something that randomly, I was actually at the gym this morning and it came to me. I would ask you guys this. Because, Courtney, you're talking about 10 wins. And even the people that are talking 9-3, like it's just some, oh, for sure. Yeah, we're going to go 8-4. Easy. Let me ask you this question. What tangible evidence is there that the offensive line is going to be better than it was last year? Is there anything specifically that we can bank on, cling to, that says this is why the O-line will be better? Or that without a doubt, the offensive line is going to be better? Because, I mean, we think it's going to be better. I mean, granted, it can't be much worse than it was last year, but we think it's going to be better. But is there anything that really says to you without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to be better? I mean, the only thing you have going for you is you got a lot of experience. But unfortunately, that experience, that unit was one of the worst in the league last year. You know, I think experience is it's a little overrated at times. Because it's like, I mean, you can have a guy with experience, but if he's not very good, what difference does it make? You know? And yeah, Keith Gillespie says my biggest concern is offensive line. And it should be, Keith. I mean, it should be. I mean, really, that is what the season's going to come down to. Bottom line. The season hinges solely on the performance of that offensive line. And I don't, it's on Satterfield to scheme around it and get the most out of this unit. You've got Spencer Rattler now. I think that'll help. But if the offensive line isn't better than it was last year, you'll struggle yet again to get to 6 wins. I mean, you will. You'll struggle to get to 7. You'll struggle to get there. You'll mightily struggle to get there. And for Carolina, if we're ever going to challenge the elites again, I mean, that to me is where it comes down to. So. Anyways, we'll see what happens. Yeah, the offensive line. It's got to be better. I think it will, but again, I thought the offensive line was going to be the strength of the team last year. Boy, was I wrong. Was I wrong? So. Guys, 843-790-3377. That is 843-790-3377. Taking your questions, your comments, and your calls. Let's see. How about this? collegefootballnews.com, our good friends, Pete Fuchak, dropping his college ball ranking season predictions, SEC spring version 2022. Let's go through this. So this is their predictions after spring. It says the rankings are based on how good the team should be and not the final projected records. Keep in mind that this will change when we make the final calls in August. In the SEC East, number 1, they've got Georgia. They've got Georgia, no kidding. They've got their realistic best case record 12-0, realistic worst case 8-4. They got them projected the spring football version 11-1. And yeah, Florida Gators, number 2. Okay, they've got Florida going 9-3, their spring football prediction. Number 3 in the East, they've got Tennessee. Predicted their spring football prediction 8-4 for Tennessee. Number 4, they've got Kentucky. Kentucky at 4. Spring football prediction 7-5. And now we get to South Carolina finishing 5th in the SEC East this year. Here's what College Ball News and Pete Fuchak says about the Gamecocks after spring ball. It says, this just got interesting after a great first season of Shane Beamer. Now the Gamecocks return relatively strong on offense with Oklahoma quarterback Spencer Rattler stepping in behind a veteran line and a strong group of targets. The defense is another story with several pieces on the front 6 gone, but the line should be a positive. It's going to be a grind, though, with road games at Clemson, Florida, Kentucky, and Arkansas to go along with home dates against Georgia, A&M, and Tennessee. November ends with a brutal kick at Florida, Tennessee, at Clemson, so there's no margin for error early on. Their realistic best case record for South Carolina is 8-4. Realistic worst case record 4-8. And again, their 2022 spring football version prediction for Carolina, 6-6. So that's what College Football News has right now. I think many Gamecock fans would balk at that prediction just a bit. And I know many Gamecock fans would be upset at 6-6, which I wouldn't even blame you if you were, because it's like you got Spencer Rattler. If you go 6-6, you just don't feel like you got the most out of that transaction. You don't feel like you got the return on the investment you were expecting. Right. But that's where collegefootballnews.com has us. The rest of the East, they've got Mizzou finishing 6th. Spring football prediction 6-6. And then Vanderbilt finishing 7th, of course, 3-9. Their spring football prediction. But the interesting one of that, they got Florida going 9-3. I mean, I think most people think Florida is going to be not very good. But I keep saying this too. I mean, dude, Florida's Florida. They've got athletes. They've got good players. You know, I know Dan Mullen left them in a complete mess, but that will not be an easy game. At Florida will not be an easy game at all. At all. So. Travis says, it's sad that we've swapped places with Kentucky. And we have. And I hate to say it, but we have. Bottom line, we have. We have. And at this point, we have. Let's see. John Kruger says Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, South Carolina, Mizzou, and Vandy. So that's your prediction. Where's Florida, John? Where does Florida factor in? Where does Florida finish? By the way, just a random side note, the Braves have a doubleheader today. How about that? Atlanta Braves got a doubleheader. John, where do you put Florida, though? Yeah, and Trevi, if you want to change that, you got to start beating Kentucky. Sorry. What, you've lost 7 of the last 8 to them? Whatever. You got to start beating them, man. Bottom line. You want respect, go get it. You earn respect by winning games. Flat out. You earn respect by winning games. Guys, we're going to jump into one final break, but I want to continue to hear from you. More of your questions, comments, calls, and more on the other side. You're tuned in to the Daily Crow. All right, guys, we're back. Taking your questions, comments, calls. 843-790-3377. Final 15 minutes or so here on the Daily Crow. Appreciate you all tuning in on a beautiful Tuesday. It is gorgeous outside. Weather's absolutely perfect, especially if you're looking for like a pool day or something good and warm in the city. High of like 90 degrees today, something like that. So, again, thank you guys so much for tuning in. Your love and support. John Kruger says he's got Florida behind Mizzou. So you got Georgia, Tennessee, Kentucky, Carolina, Mizzou, Florida, Vanderbilt. Again, I just, is Florida going to be that bad? Is Florida really going to be that bad? I just find that hard to believe. You know, I just find that hard to believe. Jeff Gullich says Florida should be around 7-5. I mean, I'm not going to say like I'm well versed on Florida football and what to expect of them, but it's just hard for me to fathom they're going to be, miss a bowl game or be like that bad. You know what I mean? So let's see. College football news also dropped their 2023 NFL prospects, top 32 pro prospects first look. Scrolling through to see if they got any Gamecocks on here. You'd think like Cam Smith, maybe Jaheim Bell will land on here. If not, this is a flawed list in my opinion. They have DJ Uiagalelei 13th. So yeah, I that is mind-blowing that he is listed as one of the top 32 prospects. And literally nobody from that's baffling. Okay. I don't know how this list was made. That's baffling. Anyways. Like I said, guys, podcast will drop tomorrow. A full breakdown of little midweek primer, what to expect. The Gamecocks take on North Carolina A&T. I mean, it won't be. I'll tell you this, guys, just to be transparent. It won't be a crazy long show or anything tomorrow. The podcast, because we're playing North Carolina A&T. I mean, it's call it for what it is. This isn't a midweek game like a Citadel or a Xavier, or, even a Winthrop, where South Carolina should just rock these guys. 13-29 overall, 1-14 in the conference. They actually beat North Carolina this year, though, which is shocking. 7-6, and they beat them in Chapel Hill. Unbelievable. Well, let's see, and they took Pittsburgh to 10 innings on Saturday. So, hey, maybe they're a decent team. But they lost 10-0, 9-5, and 13-9 to Pittsburgh over the weekend. They are on a – hold on. Oh, excuse me. They beat Pittsburgh. On Saturday, they beat them in game one of the doubleheader. Wow, okay. But you look, they've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They've lost 10 of their last 11. 10 of their last 11. So, tomorrow should be a fairly easy midweek at Founders Park. You'd at least like to think so. I mean, hey, I guess nothing's been easy this season, though, for this team. So, I guess would it shock any of us if we struggled? Let's see. Final 10 minutes or so, guys, taking your questions, comments, calls. Again, appreciate you all tuning in. A conversation. Really, the main topic today is the chicken curse real? Does the chicken curse exist? Does the chicken curse exist? Does what Dawn Staley's doing, does that erase the chicken curse? Is that enough? Is that enough to erase the chicken curse? I don't know that it is. I don't know that it is. But all right, let's jump to the phone lines here.
Call from
Colton.
Colton, what's up, man? How are you?
Doing good, man. How are you?
I'm doing well, man. Just chilling, hanging out. What's going on?
Well, I just wanted to call in and, weigh in on the relocation or possible relocation.
Gotcha. Fire away.
Yeah, I mean, so just first off, being in Columbia, I went to school there, and it's fun and stuff. But after a while, you might need a little something different. But from the way I see it is branding wise, it's a lot whenever you see somebody there at the football games and stuff, like for marketing for you. If you want to get bigger, you can do it and not do that. But still, I feel like it gives you a better, opportunity because you're around the people that you're like targeting. So, I mean, and you get the feel of the university, when something happens, people talk about it all the time. And, if you're not there, then, I mean, yeah, you'll still hear about it and stuff, but you kind of feel it there. You know what I mean?
Right.
How people feel about things. But, I'm all about you doing what you think is best for your life. So that's just how I feel, though, when it comes to, like, trying to get bigger or market there. Like, when I first went to a game, it was crazy. Atmosphere was wild, but I had been a Gamecocks fan. And you never really saw groups and like people selling stuff, but you never really saw like a content creator like out there. And so, when you started going and I started seeing you and seeing like the big cock plug stuff, it made me look at you. So that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, well, I'll definitely, no matter what, be in town for football games because, I mean, we're going to continue the TSUS tailgates and all that good stuff. So I will, without a doubt, be in town for football games. But, yeah, I mean, it's just something that, just have the option and figured I'd play with the hypotheticals, if you will. But, no, I appreciate the feedback on it, man. It's going to be interesting. It'll be exciting no matter what. But, yeah, excited for the next chapter, whatever that might be. So,
for sure, great to see it. Can't wait.
Colton, I appreciate it, my man. Thank you so much, sincerely.
No problem, man. You have a good one.
You too. Take care. Great stuff. Great call. And if anybody wants to, like I said, weigh in on it, you're more than welcome. But if you don't know what I'm talking about, my lease ends in August, and considering a move out of Columbia. I might also stay in Columbia. I mean, I'm just not going to be in this specific place, but I'm not tired of Columbia. I love Cola. I got nothing but love for Cola. So I'm not like, itching to leave or anything, but you never know. I've got the option. So Thomas Walker, great point here by Thomas Walker. He says, ending the chicken curse isn't doing inexplicably good things. It's not doing the inexplicably bad things. That's very well said, Thomas. We've had many a good team. right? But it's the inexplicable losses, right? It's the inexplicable losses that just make you scratch your head and wonder, is the chicken curse real? You know, that's what does it. So that's really what does it. Question of the day: do you believe in the chicken curse? Oh, sorry about that, guys. Andrew, the textbook says the losses to Navy in football and Coppin State men's basketball makes the chicken curse appear real. Oh man, the amount we could do a show, a podcast, a Daily Crow. I could write an article, whatever. We could do an entire show on heartbreaking losses. You know, we really could. We could do an entire show on heartbreaking losses because there have been so many. You know, I responded to a poll last night, or just a question, I guess, on Twitter. And it's this account. Somebody asked if you could change the outcome of any game in your team's history, which one are you choosing? And I mean, for South Carolina fans, bro, we have so many games we could change up. For me, I think it's an easy answer. I think the 2010 SEC championship game, bro, you change the outcome, we're SEC champions. You're telling me that doesn't affect your program? You don't think where we are right now as a program, you don't think we're in a different place if we won that SEC title game? I mean, come on. No doubt we are. And you know what? Even if we aren't, at least we have a ring. At least we have a trophy. At least we have a championship. At least we have something to put in the stadium. You know? I will say, though, a great answer was and is the 1984 Navy game. How does the history of Carolina football look differently if Carolina beats Navy and goes on that year? Here's the problem with that. There's no guarantee. What if we beat Navy but lose to Clemson the following week? You know what I mean? There's no necessarily a guarantee. But I will say 84 Navy would have been a good answer. And Andrew, the textbook, I know that the SEC championship wasn't an inexplicable loss, but again, that wasn't the question from them. It was just if you could change the outcome of any game in your team's history, which one are you choosing? If I could change the outcome, no matter how lopsided the score, right? I'd go with that Auburn game. Give me an SEC title. Bottom line, give me an SEC title. That's what I want. I want a ring. I want a championship. Others, though, that stand out, if I can't pick that one, if I'm not picking 84 Navy, I think of 2011 Auburn, 2012 LSU, 2013 Tennessee. I'm thinking of, 2017 Florida. I'm thinking 2000 against Clemson, the push-off. I'm thinking 2007 against Clemson, losing on a last-second field goal. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. It does. On that note, guys, we've hit 2 o'clock. Appreciate you all tuning in. Like I said, Daily Crow rolling all week. Podcast tomorrow and Friday. Content bleeding out the eyeballs. Folks, go outside and enjoy the weather today. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful day. Go enjoy the weather. Enjoy yourselves today. Be safe. Be good. Have a great rest of your Tuesday. And we will talk to you tomorrow.